But in order to discover what's real, we first have to weed out the unreal. In order to do that, you have to turn down the noise, the chatter, the chaos, the worldly distractions. In order to turn down the noise, you have to empty the mind completely, 100%. Calm and tame that wild stallion that is your overly hyperactive mind. But wait, here's our first snag. The mind doesn't like to empty. It doesn't empty completely very easily. It seems to like the chatter. So we aren't really going to get to zero thoughts very easily. Well, the next best thing to zero thoughts is one thought. And maybe we can get there. Even that's going to take some work. And now you know why yogis meditate and what the mantra is for. It's to help you reduce the mind to only one thought. Now, the mind tends to take the shape and the form of whatever it is that it's focused upon. So if you're going to reduce your mind to one thought, you may as well make it a good one. All right? You still with me? Okay, we want to focus the mind. Be still. Be very quiet. Meditate. But in order to do that, your body has to be free of pain. Your body has to be healthy. How are you going to focus your mind on transcendental thoughts if you got an aching back, or if your head hurts, or if you got a stomach ache? And now you know why yogis who are preaching the complete meaninglessness of this physical world, of this physical body, spend so much time doing yoga, doing yoga exercises. That's not why the people in your neighborhood are doing yoga, but that's what it was designed for, to be healthy enough to meditate. All right, and so now you know it. Now you know not only the meaning of life, but at least a little bit about how to get there. Remember, the word yoga means union. And only in the West is yoga an exercise class. In fact, yoga is a spiritual pursuit. It's a very complex, mystical, spiritual philosophy. And its practitioners, the true yogis, are extremely mystical and spiritual beings. So remember the word union and unity. We're going to come back to those a lot. Yogis are not interested in trendy exercise classes. They are interested in union, in unification, and in creating space. The opposite of what a lot of physical exercise is designed for. Some of what we call exercise, in fact, is a source of separation and compression. And therefore, it's not that healthy at all. But let's not digress. Remember the goal of it all. Health, happiness, growth, self-improvement, and realizing your true potential. Realizing your true self. Keeping that thought, let's get back to seeing how it all hooks together. How mind, pain and pleasure, health and sickness, yoga and the meaning of life all fit together. The mind tends to take the shape of whatever it is that it's focusing on. The mind is the source of pleasure and pain, of health and sickness, of those attractions and repulsions we've spoken of on previous shows. The mind builds not only ourselves, but our entire universe. A lot of people's minds cause them a lot of pain. Maybe yours does. But remember that pain is not the same as discomfort. It's an important thing to know. A little discomfort is good for you, and it can even feel good. You exercise in order to push yourself to the point of discomfort. If you belong to a gym, you pay money to get your discomfort. It has good purposes. But we're talking now about the mind, about the extremely powerful mind. Power to make healthy, power to make sick, power to kill, power to give life. And yet, not many people seem to even know what it is. How would you define your mind? We're sort of led to believe that the mind is the same as the brain, or at least that the mind is in there somewhere, stuck inside your brain somewhere. But that's not all the case. That's not the case at all, as we're about to see. Our mind and our brain don't coincide much at all, really. It's our mind and our body that do. Our mind only corresponds with our brain in the fact that our brain is a part of our body. Not only that, but our body and every cell in it is our mind. It's what the mind is. And so what the body intellect is, that body intellect that we talk about so much, it is the subconscious mind. We begin every program talking about it. That body intellect is ubiquitous. It permeates every cell of us. We've seen that our cells, all of the trillions and trillions of them, each have their own intelligence, their own separate intelligent entities. Every one of them working together, coordinated, networked, all on the team. And so the reason that we look the way we look and act the way we act and think the way we think and feel the way we feel, well, it's all a function of the experiences that are floating around, just swimming around inside the goo that is inside of every cell of our body. Experiences are invisible too. Maybe. So what our mind has to do with pain and pleasure, with health and sickness, is a function of our degree of unity or our degree of separation. It works like this. When our mind separates from our stomach hurts. When our mind separates from our back hurts. When our mind separates from our emotions, we get angry or sad or hysterical or crazy or whatever it is that we get. That's when you say and do those things that you regret later. Have you ever been beside yourself? There's some separation for you. When the mind separates from the intellect, you get confused, hazy, you lose focus, you get a little thick. When the mind separates from your spirit, you lose your way. Pleasure and health come from everything at its proper state of union. That's all. Pain comes from separation. Why? Because we're made for union. When our thoughts create chaos in an area, in any area, it imprints into the body intellect and it misshapes us. So, we've seen that comfort is good. Discomfort is good. You know what's never good? Or almost never anyway? Being numb. And so when you medicate yourself to stop feeling pain, you think you're feeling good, but you're not good. You are numbed into a false pathological state of comfort. You're entrenching yourself even further into the unreal. Instead of looking within yourself to understand what it is that you feel, and why you feel it. How do you ever expect to get healthy like that? Most people spend most of their time trying to make their pain go away. They're trying to get rid of pain, to fight pain, to repel pain, and hardly any time at all trying to attract health. They're focused on pain, not health. Think about that for a second. As we have said a few times today, it's an important point. The mind takes the shape and the form of whatever it is that it's focused upon. And so when you focus on the pain, even if you focus on it with the intent of getting rid of it, you still end up with what it is that you're focusing on.